Hi there, this is Danny Flexen for Seconds Out, the latest edition of ReFLEXions. We're here every Monday, 4:30pm, to talk about the boxing action of the weekend just gone. And what we witnessed on Saturday night, certainly for me, was one of the most incredible things I've seen in a boxing ring. And I've been covering the sport for God knows how long now, probably not far off 20 years at this point. Leigh Wood came back from the brink of defeat in the very last round to demolish Michael Conlan. There's not really many better ways of putting it, as unsympathetic as that might sound, and stop him in the final round to retain his WBA featherweight title. The finish was so extraordinary, so thrilling, so worrying as well. Once it appeared Conlan was being attended to at ringside, that I was watching on TV, or on my laptop, in fact it's the Zone of course, jumped up off my sofa and exclaimed, "Oh my God," to absolutely no one. My son was asleep upstairs, hopefully I didn't wake him, but there was no one else in the house as far as I know. And just absolutely stunning end to what was an engrossing, enthralling fight between two incredibly talented, but more importantly to this fight, gutsy and determined athletes. Conlan started by far the better. He dropped Leigh Wood in the first round with a straight left from the southpaw stance, walked right onto it, it seemed, Leigh Wood, and it took him a while. First of all, he jumped up from the knockdown too early, in my view. Took him a while to get his bearings back, and then still the next few rounds Conlan was very much in charge. Faster hands, faster feet. And although not the bigger puncher of the two, was able to make his shots count. They were the more accurate as well. And it took a long time for Leigh Wood to kind of get through the fog, get to grips with his opponent's style. And it was a process. Every round he seemed to chip away a little bit more, both to body and head, but was still being outlanded and outboxed to a large part by Conlan. I think before the final round I had given Wood a total of 4 rounds on the cards, and obviously Conlan had that knockdown in the opener as well. But gradually he got more into it. At the same time Conlan started to fade a little bit, and that made it a much more exciting fight as the second half unravelled. They exchanged a lot more. Conlan was less able to hold centre ring as he had been in some of the earlier rounds. Wood was pushing him back a lot more into corners and against the ropes, and there he had his most success because he was able to unload in flurries. Although Conlan's head and upper body movement was exquisite at times, the more tired you get, the harder that is to maintain, of course. And he was taking a lot more shots. They might not have all been on the jaw or on the head, you know, arms, body, just wherever Leigh Wood could land. He was relentless, and obviously we know he carries power even late into fights. So it looked delicately poised, but even on the judges' cards, Wood needed at least a knockdown in the final round to win the fight on the cards. As it turned out, he got the job done in that round anyway. It seemed like a left hook, first of all, hurt Conlan out of an exchange, and then a follow-up right hand sent him stumbling back into the ropes where he'd spent so much of the last couple of rounds of the contest. Wood quickly pursued him, knew, I guess, that this was his last chance, and that imbued him with urgency. He unloaded the kitchen sink, and at first it seemed like Conlan was able to bob and weave out of the way of the damaging shots, but then a right hand arced over the top, landed high on Conlan's head. From the original view, it was hard to see the punch landing from the TV camera, but I've since seen other people who filmed it from the crowd, different angles, and you can see, although it might not have been the hardest shot, it was a short chopping right hand that landed right on the temple, and that just completely discombobulated, easy for me to say, Michael Conlan, who, as brave as he wanted to be, had no chance at that point. Became a limp, prone target sitting on the bottom strand, and Leigh Wood followed up with a quick combination, 2 or 3 punches, and Conlan was, and this was hard to watch, was knocked through the rope, out of the ring. And the fight, after referee Steve Gray took a quick look to assess Conlan's condition from his vantage point, waved the fight off with Conlan still outside the ring. Their worrying moments followed, and Leigh Wood deserves a huge amount of credit on top of what he gets for the fight itself, for immediately taking steps to calm the crowd. Obviously it was in Nottingham, his hometown, although there was a large and vocal Irish contingent supporting Conlan. He was quick to calm the crowd, And David Diamante, the MC, was also very rapid in making sure a way was cleared for medical personnel to escort Conlan out of the arena where he could get better attention. We found out later on that night that Conlan was conscious and responsive, which was a relief, I imagine, to everyone involved, but no one more so than his family and Leigh Wood himself, of course. The pair reunited the next morning, presumably in the Fight Hotel, and I think congratulations and respect was uttered by both. Conlan certainly wants a rematch. He'll need to rest up, as will Leigh Wood. They both showed the scars of battle even the next day. But Conlan will want a rematch. He feels that he was well in charge before it started to go against him in the later rounds. You can't really argue with that. But for Leigh Wood, he's already said he's not got many fights left in his career. It's been a kind of hard scrabble apprenticeship for him, and he's only recently started to get on those big platforms and make that serious money. He'll want to try and start unifying, or maybe if he gets upgraded to the WBA super title. If not, he might want to fight the super champion, Leo Santa Cruz. And his biggest dream, of course, is to fight at the City Ground, the outdoor stadium used by his beloved Nottingham Forest Football Club. We hope he gets to do all those things, but I think Conlan may have to wait a little while for another shot. I don't see Leigh Wood going immediately back in with Conlan. If he's only got 2 or 3 fights left, he's going to want to make as much money as possible. And he'll certainly have a keen eye on the rematch between Kiko Martinez and Josh Warrington, because a fight between Wood and Warrington in Nottingham Forest, obviously Warrington's fans, vociferous fan base travelling down from Leeds, shouldn't be too difficult to make because they're both with Matchroom, and should be, you know, guaranteed to pack in a big crowd, particularly with the right undercard. So absolutely gripping fight, topped off by one of the more memorable conclusions. Hats off to both men. I haven't even mentioned the knockdown, the round before the end, round 11, that looked like more of a kind of glancing blow and then a slip from Conlan, but nevertheless it did reduce the margin on the scorecards. Now I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know what you think of the fight and what next steps should be for both men. I'll be back on Thursday for ReFLEXions, 4:30 p.m, and then following Monday at the same time for the next ReFLEXions. Really appreciate your time, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.